Okay.
Cool.
So, Pavlina, it's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for coming tonight.
Well, thank you for your invitation. It's my pleasure.
And now let's go back to the beginning. So, could you tell us, just briefly, where are you from and how did you grow up? What is the story behind you?
So I come from Czech Republic. I don't come from Prague. I'm coming from a little town in eastern Czech Republic. It's called New Bydžov. So Nový Bydžov, probably you know it from Vyjmenovaná slova. Sorry, non-English speaking guys, I have no idea how to say it. Yeah, whatever. Well, then I spent there most of my time, I would say about 20 years. Then I started to study in Olomouc, which is an amazing city, and I studied law, which was impressive way how to inspire myself of not doing that job, because it was quite strict and but I believe that it fits with some type of people and it's very needed, and I'm happy I studied it because it took me into the world that I would never believe that exists. It's fun. I swear it's fun, even though it doesn't look like sometimes like that. It's very creative in the way of finding the arguments for how you want things to happen, and searching the way how to, let's say, hack the current system. What I mean, there are some legal issues, some paragraphs, but it's about the interpretation. So it's all about how you think about it. Great job, but not for me. But what this school gave to me was possibility to travel, because there was this Erasmus program, and I love traveling. I so much love traveling. So I started to travel. I went to Italy. I lived there for a while. I used to study there also. And then I came back to Prague. I started to be paralegal, which is, again, it's a legal job. But I started to fall asleep in my work every day after 12. There was 20 minutes of sleeping in my chair, pretending I'm working. So I said, no, stop. I'm too young to sleep in the office. So let's try to find something else. It was definitely not the job in legal part. And I was very fortunate that I had a friend that used to have an IT company. And he was searching on Facebook some junior manager. I had no idea what he wanted, but I just said, I'm junior and I want to be manager. I have no idea, I have no experience. He said, okay, we try. He gave me, it was a project manager. That time I didn't know what it is, because Czech schools doesn't tell us those type of positions. They don't teach us even what to do in these positions. So when he found that I'm sort of like salesperson, I'm really like person who is very involved with people, he said, okay, you're going to be key account manager. I said, again, I have no idea what it is, but it's very cool company, so let's start to do this. And in this company, we used to have a lot of projects. We used to do apps for Očko TV, for example, for Impulse Radio. So there have been quite a big clients, and he just threw me into them. He said, like, you're going to lead those projects. So with no experiences, I started from top clients, which was very impressive. And on the other side, there was a project that was in his head. He brought it from Sri Lanka because he got lost. My partner, the business partner, Radek, he got lost in Sri Lanka. After he checked in a hotel, he went out, no internet. But he had his phone with him. So he said, damn, what am I going to do? I have no internet, I have no idea what was the name of the hotel, the street, and so on. So he came back, fortunately. He queued all the line in the reception, and then the lady at the reception at the front desk, she was like speaking not really good English, yeah, but she gave him the map, yeah. Thank you very No. So thank you very much, and just take the map and go away. And he said, what am I going to do if I'm going to lose the map again? No name, no address again. But I have my phone. And he had an IT studio. So he brought his idea of this digital connection with the hotel back to the Czech Republic. He started to develop it, and in that moment I came into the company. I so much fell in love with the project. And the project right now calls MyStay. is the company which we started to do a year after. We separated from his company, and now we are business partners. And I have to say that was one of the best steps in my life I ever did, that I stepped into the fields that I have no idea what it is, but it was amazing to do it because every day we are learning. I know it's cliche, but I do. And every day it's very special. And I really recommend to everyone here to do those steps every day that you don't know, but they bring you something positive.
So thank you very much for this comprehensive overlook. But yeah, so how was actually the first year of MyStay? What did you learn from the very beginning when you start a company for the first year? What would be some key takeaways from that year? What did you learn? What obstacles do you need to overcome?
It's definitely some legal issues of starting company, then accountants, so finance, how to run it, who helps me, who did this with me, who did that with me, how much it cost, and then from technical issues, of course, talking to developers. It was, wow. I called the language Klingon, and I didn't speak Klingon that time, so they considered me as a weird woman because I was so woo, and they're not really woo. So that was also first year starting to learn how to speak Klingon, and I think I'm so now. I am maybe B1 in Klingon, so I can speak, but not really well like native, but it's okay. So definitely talking to developers about the ideas we have. So try to connect these two worlds, even though they are not, we're one anyways. And definitely talking to investors, because the ideas, you have big ideas, and if you don't, then you're not going good way. And then we had these big ideas, so we had to bring it somewhere. And it was investors. They talked to us, but no one wanted to come in. So that was a big lesson for us, how to be more sexy for investors. I hope now we're way much more sexy for investors in the way of the company, how the product is, how many customers we have, and so on. And definitely sales. We both, with Radek, have not been the salespeople before. I was a lawyer, and he was an IT. So we thought that if we go there, just sell it, pricing, well, who cares? Materials, who cares? The idea is here. No. So, whoa, we had to slow down. We really had to take part of doing brochures, of doing price lists, of doing things for our customers, so also the sales.
So, and as you mentioned, so from the very beginning, you were trying to be like a bootstrapping in this project, or did you have some financing, to start? Or it was like that all of you were just, so excited about the idea that it was only your, I see, your time. So how did you get the money for it? Or if you didn't need it? Time.
There was advantage that the project was already in the company that was already running and it had its own projects. So we financed it a bit from those projects as a company itself. And then we always ask for money of our clients because we haven't been startup at that time. Actually, I have been going to networking events because I was so happy to be in Prague, in the community like you guys, so many innovative people, open-minded and so on. And when I've been explaining our idea, they told me, so you're startup? And I was like, what it is? I didn't know that time. So I've been Googling, startup is a fast-growing company, IT. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we probably are, right? Yeah, startup, why not? But then I came back to office and I said to Radek, oh, dude, did you know that we are startup? He's like, no, that's dirty word, don't say it. Well, people don't like startups. It's like bullshitting, it's a big bubble. We are not startups. I was like, yeah, okay, we're not startup though, okay. And then, of course, we're a startup. Well, sort of, somehow, now, yes. Before we probably haven't been because probably I should tell you what we are doing, right? I don't think, who knows MyStay? Great. So what we're doing, we're a travel startup, we're a travel project, better, okay, that is trying to connect hotels and guests after the booking. So where the booking, web pages, Expedia ends, by reservation, specific hotel, we start there. We're trying to connect them before arrival. So you can do pre-arrival check-in by your phone, you can navigate yourself to the hotel, you can find the parking, you can order any type of services, airport transfer, and during the stay, you can communicate with the reception even though you're not in person. You can rate the hotel and so on. So it's digitalizing the hotel relationship with you. So this is MyStay, just for your information. And we used to do it that it was the app for each hotel. So we've been developing one by one. So many issues, so many troubles. So no, that time we haven't been startup, I think, because we have not been that scaling part. But then we moved to Amsterdam to start a bootcamp that we said we have to change something because we have been taking so much money from the current company of Radek, and the value that we have been bringing to company was like so. It was 0 to 0, you know, like what we brought, we spent, which was not really like the thing that you're searching for. You need some benefit, you know, like profit. So we said we have to change something, and then we went to Amsterdam to start a bootcamp, and we actually throw the current system that we have been developing 3 years. We throw it, and then we started from scratch. The same idea, but we have been doing platform, and I believe that from that moment we started to be startup.
Maybe could you name about your participation in a startup bootcamp accelerator? What actually bring it to MyStay? How it actually helped you, and because I saw some interview and you actually mentioned that. You need to start, the new product from the scratch. So, what was the most, value there for you?
Who brought us to this idea of going to start a bootcamp was Jarda Trojan. It's one of the investors. He was working for Credo, and he came to us because we have had some talks with investors, but they've been so good idea, but we won't invest. And then again, so great idea, so we won't invest. So we've been so disappointed that actually everyone likes the idea, but no one want to invest to that previous company, to that white label apps. And then Jarda Trojan was, I can advise you, okay, you have to do this. And then there is this event that Mark from Startup Bootcamp will be in Prague. You can pitch him, and maybe they can bring you to the Startup Bootcamp. It's a very prestigious bootcamp program, and it can open your mind. Maybe you're doing something wrong. So I went there to talk to Mark. He was quite impressed. What was the idea that it can scale, but he said there is something that we can find, come to Amsterdam. So we applied. There have been like 300 applications from all around the world, and we've got there with MyStay as one of the 10 startups. We spent there half year, 3 months fully in the bootcamp, where every day we had so many workshops, meetings with the mentors, and we went there with the idea of changing something. We didn't know what it is, but we knew that we have to find what we have to change. And we found that is a product. It's the system that we built 3 years ago. That it stands sales, business development, product dev. It all stands on the wrong system that we built, meaning the wrong type, one by one app for each hotel. Because there was an update, for example, from Android, right? We had 55 apps that time. What do you have to do? You have to update 55 applications in the App Store. And then iOS, 55 application update on iOS. Apple, for the one that doesn't speak Klingon or whatever. So this was the biggest issue. So we said, stop. We have to build one application that will be especially for travelers. So it won't be that B2B, because we used to be just B2B project. So we turned to be B2B to C, where the traveler can use one app all around the globe. We are still selling B2B, because this is our first year of still building the B2B clients all around the globe. But then 2019 has to be B2C for us of you guys, no matter where you go, you just request MyStay to build a profile of the hotel where you go. This is what I mean. So we found this, and I have to say that from 1 year sales circle, it took me 1 year to get into the hotel and sell them and sign the contract, and then 3, 4, 5 months to build to finish the project. To well, one call, it's enough. I call once, well, sometimes twice. Sometimes I go to meet if they are bigger. But the sales is way much faster, just of changing the system that we built. Not idea, just the system. So that was the biggest change for us. But it was very tough to say goodbye to the project, to the system that we put our own money, and it was not thousands, but it was millions of Czech crowns that we put from our pocket to that system, and we had to say, okay, we don't use it anymore. One day. That was very tough, very tough.
And that time you already have some customers, you already have some clients, from the who were actually using the old product. So how was this transition, of these old customers to the new product, which was not developed at the time? So how we were able, to focus on the accelerator program and and as well for your day-to-day job with the current clients?
In the program, we look like zombies. That's the answer. So during the day, we have been working on doing something new, doing creative stuff, writing a lot of things on papers and thinking how to change the business plan, team, our thinking and mind and so on. And by the evening, I had to go back to my email box and writing with my clients because they had this everyday issues with the current apps. And it was like 55 times more job that we do now. So a big, I don't know how to say it in English, but kruhy pod očima, yeah? Big kruhy pod očima, big. Everyone in the team.
How many members at the time you had in your team?
We brought 4 people with us to Amsterdam, and we left 4 people here in Czech Republic. But one of that person that stayed here, he was working also for another company, the previous IT company.
Okay, maybe right now it's a great moment to ask you about, one of the topics for tonight. So if you could tell us, what actually means the terms "fuck it, ship it" for you?
We learned it in Amsterdam. It's so much about Czech people, or maybe in general, we're so much about making things very nice and good. Perfect way, we think about it, we want to have it perfect before we launch it, before we give it to the customer. And the fuck it, ship it is fuck it, ship it. Just stop, be perfect with the product in the very beginning. Just do a basic of the basic of the basic, draw it on the paper, and then ship it to the client. And then he will tell you if it's good or bad. It's not you, it's them. So fuck it, ship it is something that we started to do. I sold MyStay platform last year to 30 clients. 30 was my portfolio for the 3 years before. 30 clients in 4 months without having a product. We just make a paper like this, we print it, good marketing, and we had some references, so they believed that we actually gonna create it. But we've been talking about it, it's working. It's working like this. And so we fucked it, but we ship it. And it was worth it. It was worth it because we had the runway for A, investors, B, another people in that region to say that we have a reference in that region and so on. So fuck it, do something, do minimum value product, and fucking ship it. Because if you will stay in the garage all the time, that you will be making it perfect and the colors and then the functions and this and other functions, then you will lose the money and you will lose the time.
But Don't you think that there is still, some risk that you fuck it, but maybe not ship it? Just asking, that if there is, some, I don't know, some threshold, or what do you think is necessary, to think about if you are in this short sprint, within the release and next release, and and if you are actually saying to the client that this is the final product, this is what you get, there is the value. So what do you think is the importance to really deliver it? And I don't know, maybe not make some false promises. I'm just asking.
Yeah, I have not been promising the date I delivered. That was important. I knew that we're gonna deliver, but I didn't know when, because with IT, it always something goes wrong, because it's not just about the developers, it's all about the Apple, Android, and these platforms are, from my perspective, crazy, because they do whatever they want, and then the developers are sometimes surprised what they did, so it can postpone. But I never promised the date when we deliver. But those first clients, they knew that it's type of prototype and so on. So it doesn't mean fuck it, like fuck the project. It means like forget it and ship it. Just don't get into details. Details comes when your customers are already happy with at least small part of the idea that you have.
Yeah, this was what I was thinking about. It this makes sense. And what about your?
So if you cannot deliver what you promised, then start to think up something different, because there's always a way how to do things, but you have to talk to the client. It's not that you just start to freak out. Of course that you freak out in the beginning because it's not happening, but then keep calm and start to talk to the client, and maybe you can find together the way how to deliver maybe something different or something even better.
Yeah, actually, we had one of the guests last year who actually had a great, amazing 3D printer for building, and they get at the time the investor. But after the, few more versions of this printer, they came to the moment that they realized that with this kind of technology we are not able to make this impact which we get a promise to it. So they need to just meet with the investor and talk to him just through all the process. And once the investor really saw that this is really something which let's just change it and keep continue. And the investor was more than happy to continue with them because their mature approach to this project. So definitely this is something what is important to have in mind. And what about the competitors? Do you have some competitors or no? Because your product is so unique. I was looking for Google, but I don't know. So
everyone has competitor. If they say they don't, they lie. What I mean, our competitor in the basic can be every receptionist, because we're actually doing their job, but it's not true. But I'm just trying to tell you that everyone has a competitor. And for us, yes, we have even the tech competitor that are trying to do similar stuff like we are. There are some that are doing white labels, so they are stuck 2 years ago, which I'm so happy. I'm sorry for them, but maybe they're gonna find out also. And then there are the others that are doing something like platform, not in the way like we do. They started, for example, with just doing emailing in pre-stay, which is a surprise, but there is a part of concierge and receptionist offers. And then there are projects that are related to the systems in the hotel. So there are reservation and property management systems. I don't know if the terminology is okay for you, or if I speak travel Klingon, I'm so sorry for that. But the point is that some of these companies, they develop something like we have, with less features. We are more complex. And in this way, they just add it to the clients, to their clients, which are hundreds or thousands. But our plan is, no matter what system they use, it should be for B2C, so for the travelers. Even though it's helping hotels mainly, but in the other side also should help globally to the travelers.
Okay, so this is more complex solution than what is right now on the market. And how many countries you are right now running a business? From how many countries or which countries you have your customers, the hotels? Because it's not only in Europe, but it's in Asia as well. So how are you actually able, to manage the business there? Do you have some local guys there in the different kind of countries, or you are doing it from here, from the Czech Republic, or what is your approach to manage the business, around the world?
Oh, we're now running in 15 countries. We run it just here from Czech Republic. For example, we have states, we have Asia, we have Middle East. It's brand new, actually. And mainly we're Europe and Czech Republic, because in Czech Republic we do personal sales still. The other countries we do by phone or by partners. So I'm actually not now willing to open any country manager offices, even though we have one call center that we built it ourselves in Balkan. So we have a, let's say, office in Balkan right now.
Why in Balkan?
Because our head of sales, she's from there. She was very good. We didn't look at the Macedonian person, but she was just like so good sales. Like she's animal, and this is what you need for sales. And then we wanted to hire a call center. We wanted to try this channel, how the hotel managers are reacting on this, and we had some budget. And in Czech Republic, we would buy probably one operator that would be calling, and she said, "Oh, don't be stupid. I will get you office, internet, and 4 people for this price in Macedonia with the same quality." And I said, "Okay, let's try, because then this would be related to one person. So if the person would be bad, we would think that the call center is bad. But if 4 people fail, then we know." So we gave her the budget, and she started the office like this. I was so surprised how easy it was, but she was Macedonian, so it was easy to handle from the office. She hired 3 people, then 2 or 3 weeks after, she hired 4th one. And I have to say, wow, it's working. So it's good.
So and now, as I heard you, what is most important to you if you are looking for anyone new, into who should join your team? How you are looking for the guys who would like to hire? If it's more about some energy between you, if there is really more some core competence which you are looking at these guys. So what is most important to you if you are looking anyone who would like to join you to your team?
Well, I have to say that we are specific in the meaning that we are really family. I know it's maybe cliche again, but if you come to our office, there is a vibe, and the vibe is very positive. And there have been people in our office that they didn't fit with that, and they sort of like got out soon by themselves or by us. So we sort of like feel that the person is like us, and which is the, let's say, the first ticket to be in the company. But then, of course, when we need someone, we go and hire people. We go through Facebook, LinkedIn, startup jobs, and so on. And then we make classical hiring process. And then, of course, the competence of the history of the person is very valid for us. But not like that we're watching that person is from Cambridge or, I don't know, Čeveute. We don't actually mind. For us, it's important how that person is talking to us, how drive he is, or he, she, because that's so important, how they're thinking, if it's out of box or if they're listening just what we're saying. So we're better connected with the people who are thinking out of box.
And definitely they have a drive, motivation, and you can see, the sparkles in their eyes. Okay, this is something what I would like to do.
Yeah, and totally like the energy, the positiveness, that they don't see the problems, they just see the way how to do it.
Mm-hmm. And right now you have how many members in your team?
27.
27. And at the beginning it was 4?
Well, we started in the company Radek, which was 10. Then MyStay was all about 6 from the beginning. 6, yeah. 6 without the
How
neighbors.
is it to manage, right now, the team of this scope, because... Okay, questions after. Is it what is different right now, in managing this kind of team, 27? Definitely, if you would like to scale up, and you have a larger team, what do you think is important to manage, this kind of team? It's definitely not only about the vibes, but it could be definitely about some processes or some orders. So, what do you think about this?
Well, I have this feeling that we grow, let's say, step by step, so it's not that tough to manage, and 27 is not much. I mean, we're not 100, 100 is tough, or 50 is tough. I heard that the vibe in the company changed around 50. So for this way, it's still okay, even though we started to have, let's say, head of some departments, which we didn't have. So we finally stopped doing everyone, everything. So I finally know what is my competence. And I can go right or left, because that is my competence. And this is the same for my colleague. Before, when we used to be 5 or 6, everyone did everything. From coffee, to cleaning, to sales, to product, to think about how the strategy is going to be, talking to investors. So it was one big mix, especially me and Radek, we're 2 founders. Until now, or I'll say until half year ago, when we really stabilized the positions and we started to hire also quality people, where we really know that we can give it to them and they do their best from that perspective.
You mentioned investors. How many investors do you right now have?
That's tricky questions for us, because we have some investors and some that invested through the convertible loan, or I don't know if you're familiar with this. So they are not real investors yet, but they will convert into and they will possibly convert into the equity, but we also can pay them that money with some benefit. For now, we have, let's say, 4 stable investors that have the equity. One is the startup bootcamp, because this is the ticket to be in the program. Second is the Van der Valk hotel chain. They are from the Netherlands. They invested in the first time, and then we have 2 investors, 2 Czech investors. They're amazing, by the way.
What do you think is most important, to retain and develop a good relationship with your investor? What do you think that there is most important, side, how to retain this relationship with the investor?
Be honest.
Okay, and
for example, we took one investor into the company. He was just visiting in the very beginning of our relationship, and afterwards he really wanted to be involved more, because he quit his job and then he started to work for MyStay. So currently one of our investors is working with us, and I have to say it was a great decision, because now he has better overview. So he's now acting more like a founder, even though he leaves the final decisions on us. But he really, you feel how he's working hard to get the new partners, to get the new clients. He really wants, but not in the way that he would be like, give me a report, but more like, hey, what we can do better.
He's part of the team.
Totally. And the second one, he's not now available to do this, but every 2 weeks he's coming to us, and again, not asking the report numbers, but more what happened, what we can do better. And because he already cashed out one of the, I would say, most famous Czech travel company, then he really have a great portfolio of what to do in the travel, so wonderful.
And what is your vision with MyStay in the next 5 years? Where would you like to be in the next 5 years?
As I mentioned, it's definitely to be the product or be the tool for the travelers, that I travel no matter where, and then I meet someone and they say, yeah, I find it in MyStay. So let's say make the product really global and useful for everyone.
And do you have some, number there that after 5 years I would like to have within the networks, of the clients, this amount of hotels, or?
Well, as we started the connection with the Booking.com, they are helping us to sell our product to their customers. So let's say that for the next half year, for the next years, if we're gonna carry on with the cooperation, we will have the chance to be open to millions of travel accommodations. And one travel accommodation can have tens, or some of them hundreds, users per week. So you can count what is the target for us.
So much.
But in a good way.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe I would like to ask you more about your initiatives regarding to Women Startup Competition. And I searched for some statistics, and I found out that according to some statistics, the women founders are more successful. So, what do you think? Why so?
Tough question. I maybe see women, even though I hate to divide, but be more loyal. And once we fell in love with something, you just go on. And that's the loyalty. So there have been so many moments that we wanted to give up. There have been so many moments that we had zero on our bank account and people waiting for their salary. So many times that we fucked up the system. So many times of so many shitty things. But I was so much in love with the project that I couldn't give up. There was just something that I was too loyal to the system. So I always went to Radek, which is more visionary, more aggressive. He can change very, very easily, even though I'm going this way. So I see very good connection between two founders, no matter girl, man, but two founders of the different mindset. So for the women competition, or for women as a founders, I see it more like a loyal project. With the guys, they do it maybe more for the meat. And girls, they do it more for milk. You know what I mean? So guys, they want to sell, they want to be rich, And girls, they want to do the stuff properly, and they want to take money from it, and maybe later they want to sell it, but it's more about, being loyal to that.
Yeah, I think that you have a great, combination, and there is a balance, in the firm. Once the one founder has one mindset, it's more oriented, and there is different kind of competence, and you can, use all of your background. That's great.
I hope so.
And what about Czech startup scene? Just few more.
What is it? Sorry.
So, what do you think about the Czech startup scene? What are your thoughts about the Czech startup ecosystem? If you could compare it, from your experience with other countries, around in Europe or around the world. So, what do you think? Is there something in some way where we are better, and something would be it would be good to learn it from different kind of market culture?
Well, we're definitely growing in the way of what I used to go to the networking 5 years ago until now. There are more events, there are more people who are not afraid to say we're a startup. I had the feeling that there have been the bubble about it, like everyone wanted to be startups, so then they had an idea and then they spoke about it and so on, but they didn't process, they didn't do that fuck it, ship it. They have been just talking and there was no this doing, so that was probably one of the problems. The startup scene that we have, or I think I cannot compare with the others because I don't know many. I'm focused on MyStay. I'm not focusing on researches of the startup markets or startup scene. But there's one or maybe two that are special. The one that I wanted to talk about is the Israel startup market, or startuppers. Their mindset is fucking stupid. They are so incredible of more having idea, doing MVPs, minimum value product, and then just give it to the clients, and then finish the project once they already have a client, maybe that they're paying them. But this is so amazing. This is maybe the comparison that in Czech Republic you better do it slowly, a nice full package with a nice box, and then we give it to, when we're sure that it's okay without bugs, then we give it to the client. So that's from my
rules.
That's from my perspective. What I found out also in the startup bootcamp, we had guys from Israel and also from the other, like from Netherlands, Dutch. They're quite similar, but not that much. But the Israeli boy, he was like kamikaze, and he's still on, and he's doing great because he's like bootstrapping in the very beginning, and he's trying to get over it because he's trying to ship it.
And last two questions before we move to the Q&A part. What do you think is the biggest challenge for you as an entrepreneur?
Finding the right way of being sure that what we're doing is good. In general, investors, clients, the end users, combine all these.
So some complex approach to work with these resources.
It's because we cannot compare, as we didn't have anyone who is doing that thing before us, so we cannot copy anyone. So every step we do is blind. So we have no idea if it's good or bad. We can just take some steps from the other companies, they did something, but as for example, the end customer, the hotel managers or the apartment managers, they are not used to startups. As we discussed with Petra. Petra is from the hospitality sector, and it's very tough to sell them online. It's tough to sell them over the phone because they want person to be there, because what they're doing, they do person contact. They're offering hotel when there's always someone. So they're not used to do fast sales and, click here, click there, and then you're done. And they're used to take a time to do some projects. So that's actually the combination of investors want numbers, money, profit. Then we want hotels to be happy, but we also want to do it for as less money as possible to sell them. And then the end customers. I cannot do everything just for hotels. I have to do things for us, travelers.
And the last one, what would be your some inspiring message to the entrepreneurs who are trying, to build some startup, some project, and build anything, from the scratch? What would be your inspiring message to them?
Don't give up when the first problem comes. Not even the second, third, fifth, 10th, and 100th. Just keep rolling. Well, validate it, because don't do things if they doesn't work. Try to pivot. But speak with the real clients. Sitting in the garage is amazing. It's warm there, hopefully. But being with the client for 2-3 months, maybe half year, nearly every day or every week, and validating not just the idea, but also the current product is one of the best things you can do. You can have the best idea in the world. You can tell it to everyone here. Everyone will tell you, oh yeah, I will use it. That's amazing. But until they don't use it, then I don't believe you. Everyone can say yes. So do that project with the 1 or 2, 3 customers and never give up when the 100th problem comes. Just try to make it different and better.
Thank you. And now let's move to the questions from audience. So how did the original founder, who had the idea for the company, validate other people at the same problem as him?
Well, we started not B2C validation, but as we had this proper idea, he went to talk to the other friends, let's say, similar like him, and everyone was like, yeah. I had this problem, I used to get lost, I was not informed, I did not know the name of the hotel, I had the trouble with the taxi driver, so many lost tourists in the Prague and so on. But we moved to the B2B part, which we didn't know, so we went to the hotel. And that was the part that we started to validate the most, because we knew that we have to run it first. So then we found out the first partner, the first clients, and then we ran it there and we started to check the numbers and then we started to talk to the users of the app. So this is how it started.
Okay, it's switching from B2B to B2C stuff. What are your first steps in attracting consumers? Is it a new game? How are the rules different?
The B2B, switching to B2B2C, it's not about switching the mindset. It's still about we're targeting B2B because the B2B are our ambassadors. They are the ones that are promoting MyStay. So we're still concentrating on B2B. No TV campaigns, no billboards to you guys. I'm sorry, not yet. Later maybe, but not now. All the hotels that are working with us are ambassadors of MyStay for their profile. We have profiles of the hotels that are useful like an app. So it's not tough for us. For us, it's the same song again, but just that the usage of the platform has to be thinking. So it should be useful even though they leave that ambassador. Do you understand me what I mean? Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
Did I answer the question of the person that has been asking? Oh, thank you. And the B2C, of course, we have this plan for 2019 where we will be stable with the B2B. Now we have hundreds, but we need to have thousands, high thousands. So we're now hacking it in this way. Give me time to do the hack in B2C.
Okay, and I would pick from Barbara, trying to do the receptionist job. Are you also considering working with bots?
Trying to do the receptionist job. We're actually not trying to do the receptionist job, like to remove the receptionist. We're just trying to change the administration part that they're doing now. You know, imagine you come to a hotel. What do? There's some desk, there's a PC, and there's a person behind that. They take a passport from you, that they do something on the PC, they don't talk to you, or they're maybe explaining you the Wi-Fi password, what is the check-in, check-out time, the classic questions. And then they give you the key, they tell you that you can buy some stuff, and then buy maybe the paper map. So we're trying to remove this part of job, the administration, where you can do the check-in by yourself. And then the receptionist doesn't have to be the administrator. He can be someone who welcomes you. No desk. They can be in front of the desk. They can say, oh, look at here and there, what you can do. You can ask me anything you want. And then we try to connect those people back to that person that can give them advice. I don't know how about you, but I always go and ask receptionists, where can I go to eat? What's the best place for him? Because he's local. So this is what we're trying to do. We are not trying to replace the receptionist. You're just trying to a little bit change the tasks, what they're doing, and give them more time to be with the actual guests. And if you're considering working with bots, yes, we are, because there can be some questions that can be answered without actual person, but with the same kindness. And then again, that person that is in front of you can deal with you. So that's important for us. But it's not so important to put bot in the MyStay. But there are companies that are doing so, and we're thinking about integration.
Okay, and who are your customers? I think that we answered this question, that there are actually the hotels, also companies.
Which
like
one or what?
Booking. I mean, who are your customers? You know, the big hotels that you mentioned, that there are hotels on one side, And also the companies like Booking.com, that you have some cooperation there?
Our customers are, we call travel accommodations. So we have two biggest target group, as we see. It's surprising, but it can be small apartments, 1-2 flats in the one building, or the highest is 4-star hotels for us. We have two different things to offer to them. Even though we have 5-star hotels, 3-star hotels, and so on, we're targeting independent, so no Hilton, no Marriott, no SPG, because these guys, they have their own app, and we're not our clients yet. Maybe we wait 2 more years. We're now focusing on independent hotels or independent chains. That's important for us. And if we're also, no, our customer is not Expedia or Booking. These are our partners. For example, Booking.com, they have a new marketplace. Imagine it like Amazon. So they're selling some, let's say, apps for hotels, apps, hostels, or apartments. So it's like e-commerce for hotels, and they can buy us there. So they are our partners, not clients.
And about if hotels are paying for the service just once or on some monthly subscription, there is some monthly subscription, I guess.
You have seen somewhere in the question about the business model. We are based on the monthly subscription, no setup fee, no nothing else. We're not taking percentage from clients, payments, whatever. There is a flat fee. They know how much they pay, and they want to end up, they just end up. They don't do investment in the beginning, and they just see the value during the time. So it's fair enough, and this makes sales much faster.
And the last question, which I would like to ask, how did you find your first customers?
I was not there when guys found their first customers. But I know the story, so I can tell you. It was the time that they had this idea. They wrote it on the paper. They made some brochure, but so bad graphics. You would be laughing now on it, and we are laughing also. They just found out some 10 hotels on Booking.com. They haven't think about the type and so on. They wrote each of them some email, and one of them or two of them said, "Yeah, come for the meeting." And the very first meeting they went through, it was in Metzele. It's far from Prague. They went there by their shitty car. It was dirty from McDonald's, inside, a lot of papers, IT guys, right? So many, everything wrong. They had no suit, they didn't know how to act because they haven't been used to work in the hospitality world. Hospitality world is really a beautiful world. Everyone is suited up, and everything is so quality and so on. So when they went there and they found out it's a castle. It's one of the most luxury hotels in Czech Republic, and there was this big door opening for the car, and Radek was driving. He said, "I'm not going there. It's so embarrassing. I'm not going." And the guy that was with him was like, "Come on, dude, you just have to at least try." So he convinced him, and I'm so happy that this happened because they actually ordered the system, and they have been our first customer. So one of the best hotels in Czech Republic, as hotel managers are saying. So they have been the first client of MyStay. So that was also something that evaluated our product in the very beginning. So
I was hoping that it would be the hotel from Sri Lanka, when you get the idea.
That would be funny, and we still don't have that hotel yet. We actually have not called them yet, so when it's gonna happen, I will let you know, okay?
So, thank you very much, Pavlina. And Pavlina will stay here for a while, so definitely if you would like to chat with her, ask about anything regarding to entrepreneurship or her journey, her experience, she's more than happy, definitely, I guess.
Totally, and if we haven't answered some of your questions, just ask me in person. Thank you guys for your time, for your smiley faces. I hope that it was valid for you, that you got some inspiration, and if you're having some idea, that you will fuck it and you will ship it, and because it's very, very, very important. So good luck, and one more question.
Can I just ask a question? My battery is off, sorry, so I didn't have a chance to submit it. In your hypothesis process for prototyping of next features and releases, are you using any techniques like empathy maps, customer journey maps, personas, to guess better what is demanded by the market and users?
This is not what I'm doing because I'm more commerce. I'm more with the, let's say, sales, customer success, and marketing. But we have a product manager who is working based on the target groups, their needs, and so on. But we learned this in Amsterdam. So since then, we started to do exactly personas and things like this. But I'm involved just in a very basic way. It's not my, as I said, finally I know what to do. It's not the product, so I'm not in a product involved anymore. Not that much, but of course I am, but
Cool, thanks.
we're trying to do that.
Good.
So thank you very much. And definitely there are some snacks, some drinks. So definitely feel free to get whatever you want. And definitely, as I mentioned at the beginning, just to try to use the time here to talk to each other. If there is anything what we as a startup brand can do for you, support you, connect you with the mentors, advisors, investors, just talk to us and enjoy the rest of the night. Thank you for your coming.
Thank you.